I remember the day when Miss Williamson came to my classroom. She said, "Chism, I need divine intervention." And in my mind, I'm thinking, what does this lady want now? So she starts to tell me a story about this little boy. She tells me that life was interrupted for his mom, and now he was gonna have to live with his grandparents. But it wasn't just him, it was him and 6 other siblings. This kid, Rashad, was only 10 years old, and he was supposed to be in my 5th grade class. I wasn't happy because we were overloaded that year. And I think I had 25 students, and I wasn't the next teacher to get a student. So I asked, "Why, Miss Williamson? Why give me this kid? It's not my turn." She said, "Chism, you love the kids." And I said, "But aren't we all supposed to love the kids?" Anyway, when Rashad came into my classroom, all my routines had been set because this was the 2nd week of school. All routines, and everything was wonderful, and everybody knew my routines, and you're gonna have to pull a clip and everything. So I remember the day that we had our first conversation. Nothing that I did, the happy teacher voice, the teacher voice hugs, none of that stuff soothed him, none of that. He could care less. He didn't care anything about learning, and he didn't care anything about anybody else, the children being his friends. But with you, when the person that you love the most, you couldn't be with that person, his mama. So, it was my goal to make Rashad like me, because I'm that likable teacher and all children like me. So I would do everything I could to try to make him like me and for him to know that my space was the best space and I had the best class. I did everything I could, at least I thought, to make a connection. Well, his grandparents were local pastors, and I'm married to a preacher's kid. So I said, let's try this church thing. So what I did was I went to my father-in-law's church and borrowed a Sunday school book. So that Monday came, and I remember saying, "Rashad, tell me about your Sunday school lesson." And he just looked at me. I remember saying, "I know the story. It's about like this rich man and he can't get to heaven, but something like a camel can get through the eye of a needle or something like that." And he still wasn't interested. So the next week came. Y'all was reading Sunday school lessons, okay? I asked him again, "Tell me about your Sunday school lesson, Rashad." Rashad, lady, get out of my face. I asked him again, the 3rd week, "Tell me about your Sunday school lesson." No answer. So the 4th week came, and I said, I didn't say anything. I had grown weary and doing well, and I just, it's no more, it was not, why? And Rashad came to me and he said, "You ain't asked me about my Sunday school lesson." That was the beginning of many, many, many miracles with Rashad. I'll never forget how when he would go into the cafeteria was the worst place in the world for him. He couldn't do the cafeteria. He couldn't. And like I said, he wasn't interested in learning. I was just interested in him knowing that this was a safe place. And that my hope was that one day I can give him access to learning. So it got to the point, I never ate in the teacher's lounge. So I said to Rashad, you just eat with me, okay? We were not communing, y'all. We didn't have any conversations or anything. I was eating, and he was eating. Okay? So we have this program called Accelerated Reader. I don't know if you guys remember Accelerated Reader. I don't know if it's still around. But I love this program because, a lot of people don't like it or whatever, but I loved it because it was competition. And it gave children the opportunity to comprehend and read on their level, and they gained points. And these points were like currency. And our children got a chance to go to this store. So every child read so they could get some points. They were not reading for the love of reading, but they wanted points because they wanted to go to the AR bookstore. Well, Rashad, he didn't get a chance to go to the AR bookstore because he wasn't reading. Well, the children will love to read Harry Potter books. They like to read those big, thick books because you can get 7 to 10 points every time you read a book. Rashad couldn't read those books. When Rashad took the STAR test, I think he was on 1st or 2nd grade level. And who in the 5th grade wants to read a 1st or 2nd grade book? So lunchtime, I said to Rashad, "Hey, these level readers, I'm telling you a secret, these level readers over here, they are AR points. You get AR points for taking reading these books and taking tests. So that became the thing. We still didn't commune. Rashad just took tests. He would read these 1st and 2nd grade books, take tests, and get points. So Rashad's name went on the AR board. He finally went on the AR board. So other students started noticing. They also started noticing that Rashad got to eat in the classroom with the teacher. You know, that's not a punishment. He get in trouble. Why he get to eat with the teacher? So there are other children who wanted to come into to my room to eat lunch with me because that's what Rashad was doing. But of course, I got Rashad's permission. I had to ask Rashad, was it okay that other people came in? And when they came and other boys came into the room, they realized Rashad was reading and he was taking an AR test. So it became this big thing, and we started what we called boys bonding over books. And so what the boys would do is they would just read and take tests. We weren't really bonding. It was just a cute thing. They were reading and they were taking AR tests. And it became a big thing, so big that it had to move from out of my classroom and went into the conference room in the office. But that year, many miracles happened with Rashad, and that was just the beginning of the miracle. At the end of that 5th grade year, we had our commencement exercise, and the child who had the most AR points always got this trophy. And by testing time, we stopped, updating the board, so nobody really knew how many points anybody had. But Rashad won the AR trophy that year. I always say that year, if you will allow me, we provided salvation for Rashad. Because when I think about the word salvation, I think about the root sal and how it means to preserve, like salt, its currency. So Rashad that year had the opportunity to experience some worth. We preserved him. We kept him, 4 years ago, I spoke at Rashad's funeral. I remember saying, when I got up there, he didn't like me. And I did everything I can because, it was about my ego. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. It wasn't about, at the time, I didn't believe that it was about gaining entry into him. It was about, I'm a likable person. You're going to like me. All kids like me. But I say that because I knew he loved me. Because you know how children give gifts at the end of the year? Sean gave me this keychain, y'all. And this keychain had his granddaddy's church name on it. And I just think to myself, I got gift cards, Macy's. I got all these wonderful gifts at the end of the year, but that one meant the most to me. As I think about the implications of Rashad's story, my ask is for everybody in this room, is that you consider the humanity of children. They're not inanimate objects. They have feelings. They have feelings. I also like to say that I don't know where Rashad is. I don't have a heaven or a hell to put him in. But I believe that he experienced heaven on earth in my classroom. Thank you.